My dear friends of Jigsaw Puzzles and the World Puzzle Days. After much deliberation about the future of World Puzzle Days, I think it's finally time to make a decision. I don't want to make anyone unhappy with my decisions, but on the other side I also don't want to build the happiness of others at the expense of my own happiness. It's always said that we should stop when it's most beautiful. Am I right? In 2022, we had by far the greatest activity, gathered 1,000 players from 50 different countries, played almost 12,000 beautiful puzzles in 600 different brands, almost 600 different, 590 more or less. In 2012, when I wrote down my first ideas for what was later called World Puzzle Days spontaneously, I had no idea what was in store for me. After my publication, this idea turned out to be something unexpected. That the World Puzzle Day, the puzzle world seemed to be just waiting for. Within a very short time, I had 232 players from 26 nations for the World Puzzle Days 2013. And my idea became more and more my baby, which I expanded from year to year. The World Puzzle Days combined several of my hobbies and dispositions that were there. First of all, of course, jigsaw puzzles, Excel, organization, computer graphics, foreign languages, and my love for foreigners and other cultures, statistics, website design, and construction of websites, as well as working on the computer in general, which still didn't make me tired after 12 hours. And I think many of you noticed that from the attention to each detail also. Where I was bad, it was to sell myself and my ideas. And you noticed that in the area for finding sponsors, at the beginning I thought that the puzzle manufacturers should actually be happy if someone made something like the World Puzzle Days in times when the whole world only wants to play computer games or electronic games. After all, I was targeting the target audience, and what my players desperately needed to participate was what they were producing and they tried to sell. But unfortunately, that was not the reality. Unfortunately, many met me ignorantly, and the biggest manufacturers carried their noses the highest. True to the motto, he does this thing this way and that way. It doesn't matter whether we support him or not. It was a pretty sad experience. In the 10 years of the World Puzzle Days, we could see about 950 different manufacturers, many of them far too small for sponsorship. Some have already been bought by others, but there would have been many who would have been perfect as potential sponsors. Unfortunately, they weren't interested. And so after 10 years, I had to admit that I could not realize my idea of the World Puzzle Days at this level, with the sponsorship, which was certainly partly also from the lack of my talent in selling myself.
Was ist denn da los?
Which was certainly partly due to my own lack of talent to market myself and my idea. After 10 years of the World Puzzle Days, I had only 2 sponsors and 1 permanent manufacturer who just supported our World Puzzle Days by Jigsaw Puzzles, and I would like to thank both of them. Cobble Hill, Puzzles Company from Canada, and Ibu from New York, USA. As well as Step Puzzle from Russia, of course, who have provided us with winning puzzles over all the years. Many thanks to you all. But there are other aspects to consider in my life. For the last 10 years, I always tried to be without work in the months of January and February, for example, because just a part-time job was already too much to manage the organization at the World Puzzle Days in the afternoon and evening. Because you have to be fit again for a job next day. You can't sit at the computer until 2 a.m. for 60 days long, 60 consecutive days. Dividing the work is very difficult because only I know the World Puzzle Days program and our written cells with formulas or data during an event could lead to extreme chaos and tables with incorrect content later. So since 2013 I have always made sure to be free from my baby. In the first 2 months of the year I have a new job since 7 months now, where I feel very comfortable, as it should be for all of us. This job is not one of these that you just give away for next winter time. Especially not in times of global inflation. Hundreds of puzzle makers would have had it in their hands for years to keep the world puzzle alive for a long time. It would have only taken 10 sponsors, and each of them could have been on board with a small financial investment and ensured that up to 1,000 players worldwide could have attended the World Puzzle Days for free every year. And I would have earned enough money with my work at the adventure parks in summertime to keep running the World Puzzle Days through the winter times later. I'll be retiring in 10 years. And due to my previous lifestyle, I will have a minimum monthly pension to live, and I still have these next 10 years to make my future monthly pension a little better. And that was a not insignificant point in my decision regarding the continuation of the World Puzzle Days. Over the past few months, I have weighed your happiness, your anticipation and hope for the next World Puzzle Days 2023, and of course my own happiness during and before the World Puzzle Days, which I had for months every year with my personal necessities of life. During the World Puzzle Days 22, I received a whopping 11,931 jigsaw puzzles, finished, completed jigsaw puzzles, and in over 2,000 submission forms of these puzzles was a thank you for everything you do for us, Gunther, often followed by please don't stop with it in the comment field. After the World Puzzle Days 22, I also received more than 50 postcards from all over the world with your gratitude. Some of you even sent me jigsaw puzzles from all over the world over the last 10 years as a thank you for the World Puzzle Days. Thanks for all of this once again. Of course, none of this left me unimpressed and showed me that I always took the right turns and path of positive energy, and that this energy always comes back to us many times over. And here we come to another aspect that I have included in my considerations over the past few months. It made me think a lot about life and who we all are, because World Puzzle Days was the sense of my life at the end, about the meaning of our lives collectively, and especially my own in the individual, as well as about what I always wanted to be, and also I want to be in my life, in path, in future, on the level of my soul, from which I'm centrally composed. In truth, I'm talking about. I only ever had one goal on my soul's level, namely to make other people happy, and this was what I did with World Puzzle Days. I made many people happy, they made me happy later, and this always comes back. And so every month of hard work was nothing more than a challenge to me, like a mountain for a marathon runner, but not an effort or even a burden. And the World Puzzle Days were a part of that glorious journey of life for me, to me. But despite everything, I just need some changes in my life that I can no longer put off. And each one of you can believe me 100% that today's decision is anything but easy for me when I tell you today with a heavy heart that I would like to let it at the absolutely unforgettable 10 years of World Puzzle Days. The hardest decision in all the 10 years, because this is what a lot of people will make unhappy, and what is the complete opposite of what is on my soul's agenda. And that's what I definitely must say here. I would like to thank all of you who have been there, over 2,500 individual players and teams in all the 10 years of World Puzzle Days, for all friendships, activities, your always good mood and positive energy, and I want to tell you how sorry I am, but that is now time for me to break new ground and to devote myself full time to important steps in my life that cannot be postponed no longer. if my professional goal in private life are not realized in the next few years, or if jigsaw puzzle manufacturers who come across World Puzzle Days from the time after World Puzzle Days contact me, I could imagine that there might be a World Puzzle Days 25, 27 or whatever, but I would like to add, this is neither a promise nor a never again. It's a well-known fact that retirees have a lot of spare time, so the World Puzzle Days could no longer be topped after 22, as the mass of activity had already reached its limits in terms of time and space, and I simply have to take care of the next 10 years to increase my approaching pension to a level adapted to the cost of living in the remaining years. And unfortunately, World Puzzle Days cannot be organized and carried out on the site. But during the lockdowns of the pandemic, I saw that there was very quickly a replacement. Now comes the sun on the side of this house. I saw that there was very quickly a replacement for the World Puzzle Days during your forced stay at home, and I am confident that even after World Puzzle Days, one or the other will feel encouraged to offer you something similar to World Puzzle Days. For example, I can warmly recommend the Taiwan Puzzle Days held by our friends from the Far East. They have been making a World Puzzle Days adapted version since 2015, for example. They were the only ones who asked me in 10 years if I would mind if they used my idea for their puzzle friends, and they always did the Taiwan Puzzle Days at the other end of the year, in August, trying to do not take away any player from the World Puzzle Days, and this for me was also a sign of great respect, big respect. And these nice guys would certainly be happy to see new players from all over the world. And who knows, maybe we will see each other again as players in one of their future editions. No? I hope none of you is mad at me. This decision was anything but easy for me. After all, it's definitely, or perhaps temporary, end to something that I built with a lot of love and passion over a long period of 10 years into more and more. And yes, even into a certain virtually worldwide known event brand. World Puzzle Days 1,000 players in 2022 from 50 countries. This says a lot, and I had to stop the subscriptions. We would have been even more. And you can get rid of something like that without further ado, but I don't want to cry around here. Let's all be happy about what we are able to experience, what we were able to experience with the World Puzzle Days. Let's not be sad about the upcoming missing World Puzzle Days, and I would rather end my explanations with a little joke instead of whining. As we say here, everything has an end sometime. Only the sausage has two. So it's like we say here. I would also like to thank each and every one of you for all your nice chats behind the scenes at World Puzzle Days. Even among these who did not remain loyal to the World Puzzle Days, it is thanks to the one who do not accept certain steps of us that we learn and grow the most. At the beginning of the World Puzzle Days 2013, my English was very bad because I cheated my way through school more badly than well. But with the World Puzzle Days 13, I unexpectedly plunged myself into a large pool of deep ice-cold water. I had so many conversations with friends from all over the world that my interest in all your languages grew more and more. And thanks to you and the World Puzzle Days, I could learn a lot, also at this level. So, thank you all, and I wish you all the best. Have fun, health and love on your further journey through life. And as I said, should the tide turn again unexpectedly one day and a sponsor try to support the World Puzzle Days so actively that I can serve you 100% over the winter time, I will be happy to get back to you, okay? So, this is no promise. Okay, thank you very much and bye bye.